for a very special friend of mine, and if you stick around to the end, there were bloopers. And as you know, if I make bloopers, then I include them in the end of my video. So stick around and let's have some fun making this card. Okay, lovely. So what we're going to use today to make this card for my lovely friend is the Lawn Fawn stamp set called Be Happy. So I'll link it below for you, and I do have the coordinating dies. So what I do with my die sets is I just put them on the back of a magnetic sheet just so that they don't get lost, because if you do have any die sets at home, you know sometimes the little pieces can get a little bit lost, and so I just keep them on the back of a magnetic sheet. I can link that below for you. I just got it off Amazon. Okay, so let's start with the card. I'm just having a little look at what I want to use here. I have used this set a couple of times and I absolutely love it because you can use it for happy birthday. You made me so happy. It's got sweet pea, sorry, peas forgive me, love it. We're like two peas in a pod. That's the one I want to use today. It's also got up here, happy birthday to you. It's so cute. You can add all these little faces to your peas. And in this pea pod, it actually cuts so you can tuck the little peas in. So I think that's that's my favorite one I tend to like to do, because I tend to like to sort of tuck the little peas in or have one of them jumping out a little bit like out of the pea pod, but I'll show you that. So let's get started. Actually, apart from the Christmas set, I think this is the one of the ones I use the most actually. I just love it so much. Actually, before I open it up, I'm just going to get in my Misty. Now, Misties, you might have seen, or you might have a Misty that's got like a red measurement around the side. Mine's actually got a teal because I was matching it to my craft room, as you do. All right, so it doesn't matter. The ones with the red or the pinkish outlines and the teal are all the same. They're just different colours. So that if you're a little bit, you know, like me and you like to have things matchy-matchy, you can. Although now I'm really loving pink. Anyway, no, that's a side issue. Now I'm just trying to work out which peas I want to use here. I definitely, it's not a birthday. So I'm not going to use the birthday pea. I'm going to use the little one jumping because I think he's super cute. And I think maybe just the one without the legs, maybe. Yeah, I think I'll use one jumping and one without the legs. I'm definitely using the pea pod that I can split. There's a little leaf here. I love that. Okay, what we'll do is we'll stamp out this first, and then I think I might think of some of the sentiments that I'm going to add after. But what we'll do first is we'll do the piece, and then I'll show you how you add the eyes. So I'm just thinking, is there any other little bits that I want to add? I might sort of add a little bit of a swirl because that always looks good with the pea pod. I might even add a bigger swirl. Just when you're stamping out your cards, if you're going to use the coordinating dies, just make sure you allow some space around your stamps so that when you come in and you cut them out with the dies, you've got enough space and you're not going to cut out your other stamps. They're not going to like cut over the top of your other stamps. Now, this is just a magnet. These are really strong magnets, so just be careful. I tend to use a little bit of washi tape just because it makes it easier to pick it up. It just keeps the cardstock in place when you come to stamp. So what I've done there is I've just popped the stamps onto the lid over here, and we're going to stamp them with my ink. Okay, so I'm just using Memento Tuxedo Black ink. The reason I'm using this one is because this ink works best with alcohol markers. It doesn't like run when you put alcohol markers on it, or bleed I should say, because that's really what happens sometimes if you use the wrong ink, is it can bleed a little bit when you colour in your stamps with your alcohol markers. Okay, so I'm just making sure my cardstock's lined up. Oops, washi tape got in the way a little bit, didn't it? Okay. Oh, that looks cute. I'm just going to double stamp them, and sometimes, well actually no, most of the time I do double stamp my stamps because it just gives it a little bit more like better definition. Okay, just going to give that a bit of pressure. Oh, that looks so cute. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give my stamps just a bit of a wipe off with a wipe. So always make sure that you clean your stamps after each use before you put them away. Now normally I do use a proper Lawn Fawn stamp cleaner, and I have to go and grab that, but because I'm filming here, I'm just going to use a wipe, which you can use. Okay, before we go on, I have forgotten, I want to add my faces to my little peas. So they've got some sad faces, so if you're saying sorry, and they've got like really cool ones with like little sunglasses on, which I think are so gorgeous. But I just want to use some happy ones. So I think I'm going to use the one on the left and the one on the right. Now, to get the little faces on your peas, what you're going to do is you're actually going to pop them in the pea that you want the face. And then you shut the door. This part is fiddly, hey? And if you've got like shaky hands like me, it can be super fiddly. That's all right. We can do hard things. Yeah. Oh, for goodness sakes, mate. Just like, oh man. Out. Little face. Okay, I'm going to do one at a time just so I can catch it. Oh, good. And then the other one is that one. And then I'm just thinking, do I want a speech bubble? Not sure yet. Faces are so cute. Oh my gosh, gotta have your face on your pea. Get him on. Okay. Cool. Done. Well, that's gonna make for good bloopers, isn't it? Watch, always have a look at the end. When you stay to the end to my videos, if I've got some bloopers, which is not uncommon for me, you will see them. And I think that one, doing your little faces, might have made for some good bloopers. Just getting the black off. You probably can't quite see, but I just had a bit of black on the door, and I don't want it on the door because I don't want that to get on my card. I'm just trying to get it just on the little faces. Okay. Keeping your cardstock in the corner, lining it up, pushing their little faces down. Okay, yeah, so you can see their faces are a little bit, and it's because they were a little bit wet, I think, when I wiped around the door. So what I'm going to do is just do those peas again, not the other parts, but just do the peas again and the faces, because I'm just not happy with how their little faces turned out. But that's okay, we can do it again. We can do hard things. While we're here, I might use, get some of the sentiments out. So I might put happy up here. Yeah, better. That's better. So cute. Okay, all right. Now we've done that. Let's get on to some colouring now. Okay, so we're just going to colour them in. Now I use a Hoo Honolulu series. These are the alcohol markers. There's only 48 in there. I'm not a believer that you need expensive alcohol markers. If you have them, that is great. I don't believe you need Copics. But one thing I will warn you about with alcohol markers that I found is that the smell is really quite strong. And the first time I used them, it actually made me have a headache. So I actually, when I colour in, I use a mask and make sure that I'm in a well-ventilated area. I don't think it's necessarily a common reaction, but I have seen it on the internet that people do have that reaction. So just be careful and make sure you are in a well-ventilated area. And if you are sensitive to smells, I'd use a mask. That's what I do anyway, and I find it works for me. So I'm just going to pick out some colours for our little piece. Do a swatch. So when you get your set, now these are from Amazon, so I'll link them below. It's really great. They send you out an empty card so you can swatch all your colours. And it's a really good idea because choosing the colours based on the lids just doesn't work because they don't look the same as actually what they colour out as. So because of these, I'm going to choose, I think I want GY5 and GY3 and maybe even GY4. Okay, 5, 4, 3. Okay, so I've got GY5, GY4 and GY3. I'll link these colours below just so you know. Now I'm just going to do a little quick test to make sure I'm happy with those because I am actually going to only be colouring with green today. So let me just make sure I'm happy with those colours. Now, before I do that, I do want to let you know that these markers are really good. So you get a fine tip like that. You can see it's a fine, it's not like super fine, but it's a fine, what they call a fine tip. And then on this end, if I can get the lid off, it's a brush. So I use a combination when I'm colouring, depending on how small the area is. I'm just going to use 2 colours here, and I'm only colouring my peas and then my pea pod and my leaf. Everything else will just be cut out on the die cut, which you will see. So I'm just going to sit here and make sure that I colour the right piece, not these ones, because their faces were a bit funny. I'm just going to pop my mask on as well. So what I'm doing is I'm just adding a bit of depth by mixing the 2 colours together or blending, I should say, blending the 2 colours together. And that's what the thing with the alcohol markers is, they are quite good at blending. So you can add a little bit of depth to your colouring in, which is really nice. let them dry, but I'm going to grab my gel pen so I can add some little highlights. I'm just going to use my Jelly Roll 10. This is a Sakura pen. I can link it below. It's really good just for adding a little bit of highlight. So I just want to add a little bit just to the little heads, just like a little bit of shine. And then I think we do need to add some, let's add a little bit of shine to the leaf and the pod. Okay, I think that looks really good. What we're going to do now is I'm just going to pop these pens away and we're going to run these through the die cutter. So I'll get that out. Okay, so this is a Sissics Sidekick. It's a little cheap, small die cut. It's all you really need. I don't think you need a big one unless you want to do really big die cuts or big embossing folders. So I'm just going to attach it. It attaches really well to my table. And then what we're going to do is we're going to send through our little pieces to cut out. Okay, and just so that I can fit everything through on the smaller die cut, I'm just going to cut them off because I don't need those peas. And I'm just using some washi tape. You know how there's always one in a pack that you don't like? This one I just didn't like. So it is really, it's a good tip to use washi tape. I see a lot of people do it, making cards, just so that when you send it through the machine, it doesn't move on you and wreck your stamp. Just trying not to put the washi tape too much on my colouring in so it doesn't tear it. Although this washi tape is to be honest, it's a bit cheap and nasty, so I don't think it would tear it, but you never know. Okay, so in case you haven't seen it, with this Sissics Sidekick, now don't worry about the marks on your plate, it just means you've used it a lot. It does. It's what it does. It shows the marks. You just pop 2 plates together. You pop your die. There we go. Okay, it's attached and now it's going through. Here we go. So we've got the 2 little peas, the happy, and your little swirls that are going to come off the pea pod and the leaf. Now I'm just going to move them aside for the moment because what I want to do is I'm getting out my card base. I'm just going to use a white card base this time. Now this is an A2. Unfortunately, it's an American product and it doesn't have it in centimeters. So it's saying that it's an A2 card, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inches. So what I'm actually going to do, because I am Australian and I don't work in inches, I'm going to take it out because what I want to do is put over the top just a colour, to have a colour base for my card. So I just need to work out how big this is. What I've got here is a really nice yellow, which I wanted to use as like a background for my peas because I think they're really going to pop on there. So I'm just going to, I want to make it slightly smaller. So what I want to do is I want it to be about, okay, so let's lift up my little guillotine here. I'm going to cut this at 12 centimeters, just so that we've got a nice little edge. And what was the other one? It was 11. So I think what I might do is just see what it looks out like if I cut that down to 9 centimeters. Okay, so just so that you know, because I've already forgotten, the longest side is 12 and then the shorter side was 9. Yeah, because what I want, okay, let me show you. This is my card base, and what I want is just to have like a little nice box there, And then I think the yellow will look really good with the green on top. So I think it'll make my peas pop. Love it. Okay, so what I'm going to do first is I'm actually going to use some, I was going to use some foam tape for that, but I actually don't think I am. I think I'm just going to use some double-sided tape. The foam tape just pops it up, like bumps it up a bit. Okay, so I just use a Tombow Mono Air permanent adhesive. It's double-sided, love it. I also use it a lot in my reading journal as well. So I'm just going to put this either side. Now, let's pop it down. I'm just going to eyeball it. As you know, if you've watched some of my other videos, I do like to eyeball. If you are new here, welcome. I'm Juliette. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button because I release a new video every week. You don't want to miss out. Okay, now let's get the little peas on board. Okay, so what I want to do is I've had a bit of a think about how I want to use the sentiments on this card. Okay, so what I want to say on the outside is you make me so happy. Oh, and I'd love to do a little, oh, look, it's got little music notes. I hadn't noticed that before. Love it. We're going to use some music notes because my friend loves music. Let's do that. Okay, we're using some music notes. And then on the inside, I'm going to say we're like two peas in a pod because we totally are. Okay, so let's get some little pop-up dots just to give the little peas a little bit of dimension and also some glue, and we can work on the outside. Actually, before we put the peas on, let's stamp the sentiment for the inside so that it's nice and while it's nice and flat before my peas are on. And then that's actually done. Okay, so when you do inside sentiment, make sure, so this card is going to flip up. Okay, so I'm having it as a flip up card, not this way. Okay, so I want my sentiment to go that way. So always think about how you want your card to open so that you get the sentiment in the right place. I might bring my little thing down here. Okay. Now, so on the inside, I'm going to do, we are like two peas in a pod because we totally are. And I'm sure you have a friend like that. I hope you have a friend like that. It took me a while to find my other pea. And she's so cool. And you know who you are, girl. All right. Okay. But stick around because you can all be my peas. All right. Let's add a little bit of the ink that we used before, my Memento ink, which I'll link below. I just love the font in these, what's it called? Sentiments. My gosh, Juliette. Serious? Oh, that looks so cute. Sorry. I always take a bit of a moment and go, oh, that looks so cute. Okay. All right, Juliette, stop yucking. Okay, just giving it a little bit of a pop. Oh, love it, mate. Look at that. Oh, so gorgeous. Okay, now I haven't got I've got to get my stamp chamois out because we know that's the best way to clean your stamps. It doesn't leave fluff on. These tend to leave a bit of fluff. Just for the moment because, okay, so, oh, did I split this when I didn't split. Oh, lovelies. You know what I've done? I told you about how this pod, you could cut it, and I haven't done that. I'm going to have to do that. We're going to have to do a bit of a jump back, because when you cut out the pod using that die, see this line here, this die here, that die cuts the little line so you can tuck the peas in. So I'm going to have to do that. Okay, so can you see there's like a little slit there? So what you do is you can slide your little peas in, and then look, they're sitting in a pod. Aren't they gorgeous? Okay, so what I'm actually going to do, because I want him to stay in the pod, what I'm going to do is just get a little bit, I might put a little bit of tape runner actually on the back where he's sitting, because I want him to sit there, I think, and then I want the other one to sort of be jumping out because like he's happy. Yeah, okay, so that's what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to take him out, and just on the bottom where he is going to sit, I'm just going to put a little bit of tape so that when I slip him in, he actually stays there, and then that's going to make it easier for when I put the dots on to pop him up. Yeah, perfect. Okay, oh, lovely. Okay, so now I'm just going to sort of experiment where I want this. So I've got to fit in You Make Me So. What do I do? I don't know. Let me just have a play. I think I might do You Make Me So Happy, like something like that. I think that would look really cute. Or no, I think it needs something up there. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp up there You Make Me So, and pop my little pea pod, and I might even have it sort of tilting, I think. Then I can have my little jumping one like coming out. Oh, coming out of there, and then add my decorations. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stamp You Make Me So, and then I'll glue everything else on. Okay, lovelies, you might say, is Juliet restamping that card? Didn't she already do that? Yes, lovelies, I did. Then when I restamped it, did I muck it up? Yes, I did. So stick around for the bloopers because they're going to be really good. I've done a few mozzas today. Okay, so I'm actually just going to stamp that the once because I don't want to have to make the card again. All right. Yeah, so stick around to the end. If I have bloopers when I'm filming, I always add them at the end. And you can see me in my funny finest moments. All right, so that was a good one. Oh, I was going to do music notes. No, I am going to do music notes once I've got my peas on because I need to know where they're going. Okay, now, so we're going to pop the pod there. Oh my gosh, sorry, I want to make sure you can see. Let me just move things around. Oh, I'm just loving that little pea. Isn't he gorge? Ah, he's so cute. All right, so let's get some foam dots on him so that we can secure where he is because he's super cute. So what I'm doing here is I'm just adding some foam dots. I want him to pop off the card like so. There's some dimension there. Now, there's a little backer there that you take off, but I'm just leaving it for the moment, so don't worry if it slides off when you're putting it on. Now, I'm not allowing full room for the other pea because I want him to be jumping, so we're going to do him in a minute. I just want to make sure that I get my pod position before I add anything else because that's sort of the main piece really, isn't it? And these little ones, getting these backers off can be a bit fiddly, but that's all right. We can do hard things. Okay, let's get him down. Okay, I kind of think I like him on the angle. There. Oh, too cute. He's so yummy. Okay, now I want to put
I want to have him jumping, but I do want him to have a backer on him because I want him to have a bit of dimension as well. So I'm going to add a bit of a backer to him for his little head because I think I kind of want him like coming off the card, but I do want to put a little bit of glue on his bottom so that when he touches the pod, he will stick and not come loose. So I'm just going to add, sorry, I don't know if you can see, I've got a little, it's like it's a 2-in-1. So it's called a pen and brush glue tip. It just takes a little bit for that glue to get running, although I may just use, hang on, I might even just use the little brush just to speed it up. So I've got a little foam brush. It's quite good actually. I prefer the brush to the little nozzle because the brush, you can get the glue out. Sometimes the nozzle just takes a little bit to get going. I'm yet to find one that is really easy to use. So when I do, I'll let you know. If you do have one that's really easy to use, let me know. Oh, he's so cute. Oh, so he's going to stick. The glue will stick to the pod and his little head is supported by the little buffer, the little, what am I talking? Foam dots, Juliet. Yeah, foam dots. So now we are going to use the little happy. So I'm going to pop that there. And because it is tiny, I am going to use little glue for this one. But because the little nib is not running, I'm actually going to use the foam brush. I'm just going to paint it on the back, but I'm doing that over a bit of scrap just so it doesn't get on my desk. But I just want to make sure that it has enough glue so it doesn't come up. Still got it in my MISTI, but anyway. Okay, I think what we'll do, while it is in the MISTI, which is a little bit unusual that I've left it there, you certainly do not need to do that. I'm going to add the little music notes before I forget, and then we'll add the leaf and the little swirls. So my friend is really into music, so I'm going to add just a couple of little music notes for her because I sort of want it to look like they're singing. I think she'll like that. Perfect. Oh, how cute. Okay, let's hope. Oh, lovelies, please keep your fingers crossed that this works. I'll tell you what, I'm not doing it again. No, I will, but it's just, you know, please keep your fingers crossed, lovelies. I'm just going to wipe that residue there. I don't want that on my card. Okay. Let's do it, lovelies. Fingers crossed. Okay, fingers. Let's get it done. That one is a little bit smudgy, but it's okay. It's okay. We're going to go with it. I don't want Juliet to have a meltdown. It is a little bit smudgy, but it's okay. I'm sure she'll still love it. It's all right. We're not aiming for perfection. We're not perfectionists. It doesn't have to be perfect, okay? It's handmade, and it's made with love, and that's what's the most important thing. Okay, so let me get my little notes off and then we'll finish up our card. Okay, now let's get our little leaves on. I think I'm going to use some little pop dots for them. Oh, sorry, for the leaf and for one of the swirls. The other one, I'm not sure. It's a bit thin. You can't really put a pop on it. So I think what I'm going to do with that one is potentially just glue it down, I think. And yeah. I just want it to sort of sit like just at the top. So when I'm making cards, I try and look at the balance of it and just sort of see where it would look best. See, I actually think I might just glue that. I don't want it to pop. I I might just have that one like to the side. I think that's going to look really cute. All right, let's get, okay, so I've got a little bit of scrap and I'm just going to pop a bit of glue on the little swirls and then we will be finished. Okay, glue. So let me know in the comments if you make your own cards at home. I also make a lot of cards on my Cricut as well. So I'm going to do, like, stick around because I will, not today, I will be making some cards on the Cricut to show you all the different types you can make. They have inserts, cutaway, and cards with pens, which are really cute. And I do a lot of those, actually, the cards with pens. And I've also got some really cute things coming up for Christmas too. So a couple of Christmas cards. So don't forget to subscribe because I do have a video that comes out once a week and I do lots of different crafts. So it will be a mixture of things. I also do sewing as well. So I'm looking forward to doing a few sewing projects. So if you're a little bit crafty like me and you like to do lots of different crafts, then stick around and hopefully I can give you some inspiration. If not, you can have some fun and laugh with my bloopers. So here we are, lovelies. Here's the finished card. You make me so happy. And then inside, we're like two peas in a pod. So if you have had fun today, give my video a big like and comment below what crafts you're working on or what crafts you like. I'd love to see that. Don't forget to subscribe so that you don't miss any videos that I release. I release one once a week. And stick around because there are some lovely bloopers from making this card today. And I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Thanks so much. Bye. Oh, that looks so good. I just don't even know if I need to do that. Oh no, we'll do it twice. I'll do it twice just to make sure it sort of pops. Yeah, so I do like a nice basic printed font. Oh, you're joking me. Look at that. Oh, for God's sake. I should have left it. I'm going to like that. I'm going to do that again. Just stressing me out, mate. Okay. There's a tissue. Tissue for tears. Tissue for the tears that the card is causing me. All right, so she is finished. This card is finally finished. So you make me so happy, which is gorgeous. And then inside, hang on. Oh God, that was the other card, the one I wrecked. That had the sentiment done. Oh my Lord.
Hi lovelies and welcome back. Today we are going to be, what am I doing? What did I just film? Ah. Hi lovelies and welcome back. Today I'm going to be making a special card for my friend. Making this card.